Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to break down the complete interview process of AMD, one of the world's leading semiconductor companies known for high performance CPUs, GPUs, data center processors, AI acceleration, cutting edge chip design. If your dream is to enter the semiconductor industry or crack a product based company, then this video is extremely important for you. Today we are covering aptitude round, technical, coding, HR round and managerial round. And most importantly, why students fail, what interview actually tests, common wrong answers, average student answers and interview ready answers. In aptitude round, AMD's aptitude round is not just about solving questions fast. It tests logical thinking, analytical mindset and accuracy under pressure. Most students fail because they try shortcuts without understanding patterns, but AMD looks for clarity, not use work. If you stay calm, apply logic step by step, and manage time smartly, you clear this round easily. In technical round, this is where things get serious. They test computer architecture, CPU GPU difference, and 86 fundamentals, cache memory visualization, data center basics, energy efficiency, semiconductor fundamentals. Many students give bookish definitions, but interviewer want real understanding. Instead of saying cache improve speed, say cache reduces memory access latency by storing frequently instructions closer to the view and improve overall performance. This is the difference between average and selected candidates. In round, this round test performance optimization, bit manipulation, memory management, edge cases, time complexity. Students fail because they write code that works but not optimized code. AMD is a hardware performance. They love efficiency. So all spend time complexity, space complexity, and possible improvements. HR round. HR doesn't test technical knowledge. They test stability, confidence, communication, and team mindset. When they say tell me about yourself, don't repeat your resume. Structure it. Education to skills to project. Why AMD? Show alignment, company vision, high performance, energy efficiency, innovation. Managerial round. This is about decision making. They check ownership, leadership, conflict handling, pressure management. Never blame teammate. Never say I don't know. I analyze the situation, identified the bottleneck, and proposed an optimized solution. That's leadership language. And final, why 90% students fail AMD interview. So let's crack the interview in this video. Starting from the first specialty, we will cover this from the specialty wise questions. Part 1 core compute. In this video, in this part, CPU, GPU, APU and 86 architectures will be covered. First one is CPU. Interview mindset. AMD interviewer don't define CPU as edge. They do ask how CPU design impact performance versus power. Why AMD CPUs scale better in multi-core workloads. How architectural choices affect latency, throughput, and efficiency. They want system thinking, not definitions. Why students fail? You can read it. Or if you want the PDF, you can message me on the WhatsApp number given in the video. So let's start. What is the primary advantage of AMD's based CPU design? Answer is chiplets. C. Better scalability and yield. Chiplets is scale cores plus better yield. Next, which factor most affects CPU performance in multi-threaded workloads? Answer is core count plus memory bandwidth. Why does increasing clock speed increase power consumption exponentially? Dynamic power. C option. Which cache level is shared across most AMD CPUs? L3. What happens if CPU pipeline depth is increased too much? More branch is misprediction penalty. Why is branch prediction critical in modern CPUs? Avoids pipeline stalls. Which unit handles instruction level parallelism? Scheduler and reorder buffer. What does IPC stand for? What does IPC stand for? Instruction per clock. Do servers prefer more cores over high clock speeds? Parallel workload handling. What is the role of SAE? Run multiple threads per core. Which workload benefits most from higher IPC? Single-threaded applications. Why is memory latency more critical than bandwidth for CPU? CPUs wait on data. Which component ensures instruction exit in correct order? Reorder buffer. What limits CPU frequency scaling today? Power and thermal limits. Why can two CPUs with same GH performance perform differently? IPC plus architecture. And next, coding snippets. 5 coding snippets are there, and retention weapon is: why don't AMD just keep increasing CPU clock speed? Common answers were because it is not possible. Average student because of heat and power issues. And you can see increasing clock speed increases power critically due to voltage scaling, leading to thermal limits. Modern CPUs focus on IPC, core count, and efficiency rather than raw efficiency. Okay, next specialty. Interview mindset. AMD interview do not want GPU is faster than CPU. GPU has many cores. They do want: can you express parallelism? Can you differentiate latency versus throughput? Can you map problem view suitability? Can you think in SIMD model? Okay, students fail in this video. In this code, GPU primary strength of GPU compared to CPU is massive parallel throughput. AMD GPUs group threads into which execution unit? Web front. Why are GPUs inefficient for heavily branched code? SIMD execution model. Which workload is best suited for GPU? Matrix multiplication. What happens when threads in a web front take different branches? Serialization. GPU cores are simpler than GPU cores because they avoid complex double logic. What hides memory latency in GPUs? Context switching between threads. Which memory is fastest on a GPU? Shared memory. Why do GPUs have thousands of threads active? High memory latency. What limits the GPU performance most often? Memory bandwidth. Which GPU unfriendly operation? Linked list reversal. GPU programming model primarily follows SIMD. What is the role of compute units in AMD GPUs? Thread execution. Why is coalesced memory access important in GPUs? Answer is maximizes memory bandwidth usage. Why does not think more GPU cores always increase performance? Memory bandwidth length and the code snippets. Retention weapon. Why is GPU bad at decision heavy logic? Answer is GPUs execute threads in SIMD fashion. When threads diverge due to branching, execution becomes serialized, reducing efficiency and throughput. Next specialty is A2. Okay. They do not ask. Interviewer is checking: do you understand CPU GPU integration? Can you explain shared memory trade-off? Do you know why APUs exist, not just what they are? Okay, they don't ask the questions. So first one is: what is an APU? Answer is CPU and GPU on same die, sharing memory. Biggest advantage of an APU is best latency between CPU and GPU. Main limitation of APUs compared to discrete GPUs: memory bandwidth. Why are APUs ideal for laptops? Power efficiency and compact design. Which memory do AMD APUs typically use for GPU tasks? System RAM. What happens when CPU and GPU both heavily access memory in an APUs? Memory contention. Do APUs perform well in video playback? Dedicated hardware blocks. Which scenario best fits an APU? Thin light laptop. AMD APUs are popular in gaming consoles because integrated design reduces cost and power. Unified memory in APUs helps mainly with lower latency data sharing, which workload benefits the least from an APU. Machine learning training. Power budget in APUs is shared dynamically. Why is thermal design critical in APUs? Says CPU and GPU generate heat together. What happens if the workload increases in an APU? CPU performance may reduce. Why can an APU outperform a discrete GPU in some tasks? Lower latency and data improvement. The coding snippets. Next one is retention weapon. Why cannot APUs replace discrete GPUs? There is APUs share system memory with the CPU, which limits memory bandwidth and power and discrete GPUs have dedicated VRAM and higher thermal budget, enabling much higher sustained performance. Next specialty x86 architecture. Okay. Next is 86 is classified as which ISA type? Answer is CISC. Why is x86 still widely used today? Backward compatibility. Modern x86 CPUs internally execute instructions as micro-ops. Who translate x86 instruction into micro-ops? Hardware decoder. Why does not CISC instruction complexity show down modern CPUs? Translation into simpler micro-ops. Which x86 feature helps run legacy software? Compatibility modes. Which component executes micro-ops out of order? Scheduler. Why is variable length instruction encoding challenging? Harder decoding and prediction. What allows x86 CPUs to achieve high IPC, out of order execution? Which mode enables x86 CPUs to run 64-bit applications? Long mode. What is the biggest cost of backward compatibility? Complex decode logic. Which x86 feature helps visualization? Rings and privilege labels. Why do compilers still target x86 effectively? Answer is mature ecosystem. What differentiates ISA from microarchitecture? ISA is visible to programmer. Why can AMD innovate internally without breaking x86 software? ISA stability plus microarchitecture freedom. The coding specs. Next, retention weapon. Is x86 outdated compared to RISC? Answer is a CISC ISA, but modern implementation translates instruction into RISC like micro-ops. This allows high performance while preserving backward compatibility, which is why x86 remains dominant. Next one is systems and performance. Next part. Processors. Specialty. Processors. A processor is best defined as CPU plus memory I/O controllers. Why are modern processors called SoCs? Integration of multiple components. Which component most often limits real processor performance? Memory latency. Why does not feeding more cores always improve performance? Amdahl laws. Which workload benefits from mini-core processors? Answer is parallel batch processing. Processor power consumption mainly depends on voltage and frequency. Why is cache hierarchy critical in processors? Bridge to memory speed gap. Which metric best represents processor efficiency? Performance per watt. Why do processors integrate memory controller on die? Lower latency. Which part of processor design affects scalability most? Interconnect. Why are benchmarks sometimes misleading? Don't reflect real workloads. What happens if I/O is slower than compute? Idle CPU cycles. Which feature helps processor handle multiple tasks efficiently? SMT. Why is interconnect design crucial in multi-chip processor? Data movement latency. Two processors have same cores and GS1 is faster. Why? Cache and interconnect design, and the coding snippets. Attention weapon. Why is a processor sometimes slow even when CPU usage is slow? Answer is a processor can be stalled waiting for memory or IO operations. Even with low CPU utilization, low latency or IO bottlenecks can prevent effective execution. Next, specialty data center. Primary goal of data center CPU design is performance per watt. Why are many cores preferred in data centers? Parallel workload handling. Which factors affect data center operating cost? Electricity and cooling. Why is memory bandwidth in data centers? Many cores share memory. Workload is common in data center services. Frequency increases in a data center. All applications. Why would data center prefer ECC memory? Error detection correction. Which metric best evaluates data center efficiency? Throughput per watt. Why is reliability more important than peak performance in data centers? Errors affect thousands of users. Which component often becomes the bottleneck at scale? Network and storage. Why do data centers use load balancing? Distribute workload evenly. What is horizontal scaling? More servers. Which failure is most dangerous in data centers? Power failure. Why is thermal management critical in data centers? Prevent a hardware throttling and failures. Why can a slower CPU outperform a faster one in a data center? Better power efficiency at scale. And the coding snippets. Attention weapon. Why don't the data center use highest clock CPUs? Answer. Data center prioritize performance per watt and reliability. High clock CPUs consume significantly more power and generate heat, increasing cooling cost and reducing efficiency at scale. Next, server. Okay. Primary design goal of servers is continuous availability, which feature is critical in servers but optional in desktop. ECC memory. Why do servers run lower clock speeds? Thermal and reliability reasons. Which workload is typically for server? Batch jobs and database web services. What does RAS stand for? Reliability, availability, and serviceability. Why is ECC memory mandatory in servers? Prevents silent data corruption. Which server feature helps prevent downtime? Hot swappable components. Why are servers optimized for throughput rather than latency? Handle many requests concurrently. Which failure is most costly in servers? System time. Why do servers often use multiple sockets? Support more memory and cores. Which metric matters most for server CPUs? Throughput per watt. What happens if a server overheats, throttling or shutdown? Why are server CPUs validate longer than desktop CPUs? Stability and reliability. Which feature improves server scalability? Inter-socket interconnect. Why can server CPUs appear slower than desktop CPUs? Turn for reliability sustained workloads. The coding snippets. Attention weapon. Why don't servers use overclocking? Answer. Overclocking increases power consumption, heat, and failure probability. Servers are designed for sustained reliable operation where uptime and data integrity are far more important than peak performance. Okay, next one is virtualization. Primary purpose of virtualization is to run multiple OS on same hardware. Which component manages virtual machines? Hypervisor. Why hardware-assisted visualization important? Reduce the overhead and better isolation. Which CPU feature enables visualization efficiently? Privilege levels. Type 1 hypervisor runs on bare metal. Why is virtualization heavily used in data centers? Hardware sharing and isolation. Which resource is hardest to virtualize efficiently? Memory. What uses perform overhead in virtualization? Context switching and trapping. Why is memory overcommitted risky? increased latency and swapping. Which workload is best suited for virtualization? Legacy enterprise applications. Why do cloud providers do virtualization? Custom isolation. What happens if too many VMs share one CPU? Increased congestion and latency. Containers differ from VMs because they share host OS kernel. Which CPU does the hypervisor operate in? Ring 0 by root mode. Why can visualization sometimes improve utilization? Consolidation of underused servers and the cooling specs. Next one is retention weapon. Does visualization always reduce performance? Answer: virtualization introduces overhead due to abstraction, but with hardware support and proper workload consolidation, it can significantly improve overall system utilization and efficiency. Okay, part 2 is completed. Next is part 3. Modern AMD focus. Specialty is AI. AI. Why are GPUs widely used for AI training? Massive parallelism, which often dominates deep learning workloads. Matrix multiplication. Training differs from inference because training requires backpropagation. Primary bottleneck in large AI model is often memory bandwidth. Why is BF16 is used in AI? Lower power and high throughput. Which workload benefits from tensor cores? Matrix operations. Why is latency important for AI inference? Real-time application. Why is batching in AI training? Increase parallel efficiency. What limits scaling AI across many GPUs? Network bandwidth. Why is data locality important in AI accelerators? Reduce memory access cost. Phase is more intensive. Training. Why do AI accelerators include specialized hardware? Optimized tensor operations. Which metric matters most in AI data centers? Throughput per watt. Why does model size affect memory footprint? More parameters stored. Why can CPU still important in AI systems? Handles over orchestration and pre-processing and the coding effects. Retention. Why cannot we just use CPUs for all AI workloads? Answer: AI workloads are dominated by massively parallel tensor operations like matrix multiplication. CPUs and AI accelerators are optimized for high throughput parallel execution and memory bandwidth, making them far more efficient than general purpose use for training large models. And next one is cloud computing. Cloud computing primarily enables on-demand scalable resources. Which concept is core to cloud computing? Elasticity. Why do cloud providers prefer many core CPUs? Higher VM density. What is multi-tenancy? Multiple users sharing same infrastructure. Why is isolation critical in cloud? Security and reliability. Which hardware feature helps cloud isolation? Privilege levels and virtualization support. Why is over-provisioning risky in cloud? Resource contention. Cloud scaling usually refers to horizontal scaling. Which workload fits the cloud best? Variable web traffic. Why is memory overcommitment common in cloud? Increased utilization. What happens if too many VMs peak together? Performance degradation. Why does cloud prefer performance per watt CPUs? Cooling cost dominates TCO. Which feature is most dangerous in cloud? Noisy 9-port problem. What is the noisy 9-port problem? VM interfering with another. Why can slower CPUs even in cloud deployments? Higher efficiency and the cloud and the coding snippets. Retention weapon. Why don't cloud always high performance? Answer is: cloud environments prioritize utilization and cost efficiency. Resource sharing, multi-tenancy, and dynamic scaling can introduce contention, which may peak perform compared to dedicated hardware. This completes part 3. Energy efficiency, green IT. Okay. Next is energy efficiency. Primary goal of energy efficient computing is maximum performance per watt. Dynamic power consumption is proportional to voltage square into frequency. Why is voltage scaling more impactful than frequency scaling? Quadratic power reduction. What is DVFS? Dynamic voltage and frequency scaling. Why do data centers prefer energy efficient CPUs? Reduced power and cooling cost. Which component consumes most power in high performance CPUs? Switching transistors. Why does heat reduction efficiency increases leakage throttling? What happens when a CPU exceeds thermal limits? Clock throttling. Which workload is most energy efficient? Burst workloads with scaling. Why is specialization energy efficient? Fewer unnecessary operations. Which metric used in green data centers? PUE. Power usage effectiveness. Why is ideal power important? Systems spend much time underutilized. How does core parking help efficiency? Disable unused cores. Why is energy efficiency critical for AI workloads? AI runs at massive scale. Why can a slower CPU be more green than a faster one? The performance per watt and the coding effects. Attention weapon. Why is performance per watt more important than raw performance? Answer. Modern systems operate at massive scale. Power consumption directly impacts thermal limits, cooling cost, and environmental footprint. Maximizing performance per watt enables sustainable scaling without exponential cost or heat increases. Part 4. Hardware and Design. Specialty Semiconductor Fundamentals. Okay, what is a semiconductor? Core concept you must know. What is a semiconductor? What is dropping? What is a transistor? Why smaller transistor? 15 semiconductor MCQs. Semiconductor have conductivity between conductor and insulator. N-type semiconductor is formed by adding pentavalent impurities. P-type semiconductor majority carries are holes. PN junction forms diode. MOSFET is mainly used as switch. Why is silicon widely used? Stable oxide layer. Moore's law predicts transistor count double every 2 years. Leakage current increases with smaller geometries. Why is heat a major issue in chips? Increases resistance and leakage. What does 5nm technology refer to? Crystal feature size, which improves transistor control at small nodes. FinFET structure. Okay. Why cannot frequency increase endlessly? Power and heat constants. Which phenomenon affects ultra small transistors? Quantum tunneling. What limits further scaling? Physics plus economics. Why do modern CPU increase cores instead of GH? Answer is power wall prevent frequency scaling and the coding snippets. Interview weapon. Why is Moore's law slowing? Answer. As transistor dimensional approach atomic scale, quantum effect like tunneling increase leakage. Additionally, fabrication complexity and cost rise exponentially, making further scaling economically challenging. And next one is chip design and architecture. Core architecture concept is ISA versus microarchitecture, pipeline hazard, superscalar design, cut-off order execution. Okay. ISA defines instruction sets visible to programmer. Microarchitecture defines internal CPU implementation. Main goal of pipelining is increase throughput, which is not a pipeline hazard. Thermal. Branch instruction mainly queues Control hedge. Superscalar CPU can execute multiple instructions per cycle. Out of order execution improves IPC. O0O execution requires instruction reordering hardware. Why is O0O power hungry? Complex scheduling logic. Which structure tracks instruction dependencies? Reorder buffer. Why is branch prediction important? Reduces control hazards. And mispredicted branch queues. Pipeline flush. Why are deeper pipelines risky? Higher branch penalty. Why modern CPUs focus on IPC instead of GH? Frequency scaling wall. Which design improves IPC most? Top order branch prediction and the coding snippets for this. Retention weapon. Why not make pipelines pretty? Deeper pipelines increases branch misprediction, penalties, and power consumption beyond a point. The performance gain from higher frequency is outweighed by stalls, flushes, and energy cost. Next is components. Why cache exists? Cache hierarchy, locality principle, memory wall latency versus bandwidth. Main purpose of cache is reduce average access time. First, cache level is L1. Temporal locality means reuse data soon. Spatial locality means access nearby memory locations. Memory wall refers to CPU faster than memory. Cache hit means data found in cache. Cache miss uses CPU, which increases cache performance. Good locality. Bandwidth improvement helps large data streaming. Latency improvement helps small frequent access. NUMA stands for non-uniform memory access. NUMA system means different memory latency per mode. Interconnect connects CPU, cores, and memory. High core count CPUs require efficient cache coherence. Why does not simply increasing cache size always improve performance? All of the above and the coding snippets. Interview winner question. Why is cache coherence built in multi-core CPUs? Answer is multiple cores may cache the same memory line. When one core modifies data, maintaining consistency across all caches requires core protocols, add traffic latency and complexity as core count scale. Here comes the embedded and semi-custom systems. What is embedded system? What is SOC? What is semi-custom embedded versus desktop CPU? And embedded systems are designed for specific tasks. Primary constant in embedded systems, power consumption. SOC integrates multiple subsystems on one chip. Benefit of SOC: lower latency. Real-time system require predictable latency. Semi-custom means optimized for a client using existing IP. Why embedded CPUs often avoid deep pipelines? All of the above. Memory in embedded systems is usually higher, highly optimized, and limited. Thermal design is in embedded system is critical, which is critical for automotive systems. Real-time guarantees. Semi-custom design reduces development time. Why integrate accelerator in SOC? Save energy per operation. Embedded system often prioritize determinism. Which trade-off is central in embedded design? All of the above. Why not use high-end desktop CPUs in embedded systems? Too power hungry and expensive. Coding snippets. Interview winner question. Why determinism more important than peak performance in embedded systems? Answer: many embedded systems operate in safety-critical environments where predictable response time is essential. Missing a deadline gives system failure even if average performance is high. Here we completed all specialty for technical round. Here comes the coding round. You can take PDF to cover this question problem solving. Let me show you the questions. In operating systems, you can choose your language proficiency in the round, concurrency and multi-threading third. Okay, computer architecture board, cache and memory, cloud scaling, 6th, 7th, energy efficiency, 8th, semiconductor logic, and 9th is embedded system. Now HR round questions. Tell me about yourself. Okay. Why do you want to join AMD? Every wrong, average, and interview ready answers are there. You can take PDF to quiz questions. Okay, what's the number given in the video? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? How do you handle failure? And the managerial round. Describe a challenging technical problem you faced. Interview ready answer. I once worked on a performance issue where optimizing code did not. After profiling, I realized the bottleneck was memory access patterns, not computation. Redesigning data structure improved cache locality and significantly reduced latency. That experience taught me to look beyond code and data system behavior. How do you approach problem solving? I start by clarifying requirements and constraints, then identify bottlenecks for edge cases. I prefer to reason about trade-off before implementing, especially for system-level problems where design choices matter as much as. How do you handle conflicting deadlines? Answer: I prioritize tasks based on impact and dependencies, communicate early if trade-offs are required, and focus on delivering incremental value instead of waiting for perfect solution. How do you deal with ambiguity? I break ambiguity to assumption, validate them with stakeholders, and move forward with the most reasonable interpretation. This keeps progress going without waiting identify infinitely for clarity. Next, have you ever disagreed with a teammate or lead? Yes, I focused on understanding the reason behind their approach, presented data or trait of supporting my perspective even when my idea was not used. The discussion led to a better final solution. How do you ensure quality in your work? I focus on correctness first, then test edge cases, performance bottlenecks, and failure scenarios. For system work, I also think about scalability and long-term maintainability. How do you react to feedback? I treat feedback as a tool for growth. Try to understand the intent behind it and apply it constructively rather than emotionally. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Why should I hire you? This is the common question. Do you have any questions for us? So here comes the end of the video. We have covered all the questions for the interview and test assessment. If you want the PDF, you message on the WhatsApp number. Thank you so much for watching this video.